Well, Faison Love is facing up to 7 years for felony assault, including great bodily injury.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's stressed out over this.
Who wouldn't be?
Yeah, he's really stressed out. And you know, we touched on it very slightly because it's an open case. I don't want to have anything in that video be used against him. But, you know, ultimately, he just feels sad because this is his home city. It was San Diego. He came back for a funeral, goes to a hotel, and, you know, there's a problem with the booking, and then something happened, and ultimately he was arrested for it. But yeah, he's 57 years old, facing 7 years and a felony. It's sad, man.
You know what the saddest part about it is? They never get you early, they get you late.
Get you at the end? Right when you're about to just ride off in the sunset with your legacy?
And I think, for me, the saddest part about this is it's so predictable. All they got to do is wait till you're exactly who you are. We don't get, you know, our stories start in the middle. Not the beginning, in the middle. So I think of Faison, I think of so many things I've done, so many things the people I love have done, and I hate that we are predictable.
Well, yeah, I remember you were on All the Smoke. By the way, thank you for the shout out on All the Smoke. Thank you.
Of course.
It was funny because I was watching everyone's reactions because me and Matt Barnes are cool. He's been on the show a couple times and so forth, but me and Steven Jackson kind of had a little bit of a little private back and forth at one point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was watching it, you know, when you mentioned my name, one of them was like, yeah, another one was like, ugh.
You know why? Steven
It was
Jackson,
subtle. It was subtle.
It ain't subtle. I've known Steve Jackson. This nigga beat up Detroit.
Right.
He beat up Detroit. So I think Steven Jackson is not a diplomat. Right. I think he's a Port Arthur, Texas dude who just doesn't have nuances.
Doesn't have a filter.
At all.
Yeah, no, the funny part about, like, I've always respected Steven Jackson, especially during the whole George Floyd situation. I've really only spoken positively about him. And the whole thing started, it was so silly. It's like Boosie had posted something like, yeah, you know, the real hustlers lose it all and make it back. You know, I've lost it all and made it back during the course of my life. So I put facts.
Right.
And then Steven wrote this whole paragraph. Man, you ain't lost nothing. You don't know. And I DM'd him. I'm like, yo, what's the problem at this point?
Let me tell you something. People think that the only story of tragedy and sorrow is there.
Exactly.
What I've tried to do is to recognize myself. Like, talking about this whole thing. When I was on All the Smoke, I talked about Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
My disdain for, first off, in full disclosure, Shannon Sharpe is my favorite NFL player. My favorite one. From Denver to Baltimore. When that, first off, that a club would be the arbiter of truth. Club Shay Shay is the arbiter of truth. Like, all I know, I ain't never known a nigga go to a club to tell the truth. When you put liquor in a club, people do a lot of lying.
There's a lot of lying going on.
Right. But I thought the saddest thing about that was that I loved him, and I loved that he was striking out on his own, and he was, you know, without death there can't be a resurrection, and all these people came, and I watched that platform hurt a lot of people I loved. Whether it's whether it's comics I love or my daughter, but he put people on and it became this catch-all for grievance. But now, I just had a conversation. I talked to Stephen A. Smith. I'm not going to tell you what I talked about. I reached out to Matt Barnes. I feel as bad for what's going on with Shannon Sharpe as I felt as bad as what that platform did to people I love.
Look, me and Shannon have not been on the best of terms last I checked. But I felt that what he went through was a shakedown.
It was a shakedown.
Point blank, period. You got Tony Busby, who I had the famous back and forth with. By the way, what'd you think when I had the whole argument with him on Piers Morgan?
I thought he tried to move on because he knew he was wrong. He's a fucking ambulance. He's Gloria Allred without the menopause.
It's really funny. Like, as we were like yelling at each other, I was like, name one case that, for Diddy or Jay-Z, against Diddy or Jay-Z, you've won. I just won $650 million. Nothing to do with what we're talking about. Because all his money was made from personal injury.
And making people go away and be quiet and like settling.
And here's the thing, right? I talked to one of the top lawyers in America about this. A lot of these ambulance chaser kind of lawyers, they like to say, I've collected $1 billion for my client. They'll go and they sue people who are uninsured, right? And they get like $100 million, judgment, which never gets paid. How much money have you actually collected all the way through? All the way through, I'm sure those numbers are very, very different. You really think you're going to get $650 million? Seriously?
Remember, Larry Parker got me 2 points.
Right, exactly. So, listen, at the end of the day, if someone like a Tony Busby wants to go in my world, this is my world here. You're talking about celebrity and lawsuits and so forth, you go meet people like me along the way. So, maybe you'll think twice. But this is the guy who represented Shannon Sharpe's accuser.
I think that, to me, I feel bad because I think now we're in a fight that is so... Again, I feel bad for the part I play in people's... Because it's not unusual for people to be where Shannon Sharpe is now in terms of the reckoning. It is very unusual for us to be in the place he was. But we all are going to get our turn in the barrel. All of us. I've had my personal grievances with any number of people. I haven't liked some of the things that Stephen A. Smith I haven't liked some of, and been vocal about it. But now we're in a fight that either we all work together and try to succeed, or we perish.
I mean, look, allegedly that girl got $23 million from Shannon. That's the number that's being thrown around. And after all of that, he still gets fired from ESPN.
Because here's the thing. I've never understood the fascination with young girls. Like, I like old bras. If you got a period, I ain't fucking with you, period.
Menopause only.
Right. Man,
let me tell you something. Menopause.
Let me tell you something. I like stress marks and hot flashes. That's the new thong to me. Ooh, daddy, I'm hot. Me too. Go get a fan and let's split an ashwagandha. But there is this thing, and I didn't think anything he did was worth what he's going through. Just like I didn't think anything that podcast, the result in the wake of that podcast, the men, the women, the people I've known, my own daughter in that wake of that podcast, I didn't think that I felt just as bad for him as I'd felt for them. And I think I reached out to these people and I said, man, whatever part I played in this situation where we look so fragmented, I have to apologize to you.
Okay.
So, but, and before I wouldn't go on Shannon's podcast, now I will.
Now you will.
Because I think that what they've done to him is so unfair. But you got to remember this. The same way I've watched what has happened in the wake of somebody believing just because you say something somewhere that it's the totality of who a human being is. I've watched it hurt children. I've watched it hurt wives. I've watched it happen. Then I watched what happened when ESPN did what they did to him. His brother's getting ready to get an award.
In the Hall of Fame. Actually, that's the only two brothers to get Hall of Fame.
And rather than talking about that, so all of us, so I can hold these ideas in my head that I hated what happened to these wives, these kids, these family members, and because of the things that people would spew on the platform, and I hated what they did to him. So I would only do it now because I don't want to be a part of a situation where it looks like we're not human beings, we're not fallible, and that this person's good, this person's bad. I just hated that this became a catch-all for all. You wanted to shit on people, you go here. But everybody gets shit on in the end. Everybody does.
Yeah.